Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everyone for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. Today is Friday, June 13, 2025. I wanted to come here and share this news with you guys because I just saw a video on the internet about a tourist who went to a museum and actually tried to sit down in this display chair that they have called the Gogh Swarovski crystal chair, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And he tried to take a photo by trying to assimilate that he was sitting on this display chair filled with crystals at a museum, and he actually fell on it and broke the chair. And there's the video there. I'm gonna see if I can put it here on YouTube for you guys to see. This is crazy, right? That's why they have so many rules when you go visit museums, okay? Before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's listening using Spotify. Don't forget to follow me there. And thank you, of course, to everybody who is watching this video right now on YouTube, okay? So I'm so interested to share this with you because this is crazy. I have gone lately to a lot of museums. I think beginning of the year, I have visited so many museums. And as much as we want, like I went to see this exhibition at the Met Museum in New York. I think it was a garment that I really wanted to kind of feel the fabric, right? And I was like, it says don't touch, so I better not. And I'm like, oh man, I really want to see if I can touch it so that I can determine what fabric it is. There's a reason why they put these signs when you go to a museum. Don't go on the display, don't touch, don't try to do this. A lot of them also say don't use flash when you're taking photos and things like this. I mean, that's for us to follow, okay? And we need to respect, as much as we sometimes don't think that some of the stuff that you see at a museum have that many value for anybody to be like looking at it, to be at an exhibit. There's a reason why they put those notices there. Like when I see this video of this person trying to sit on this chair, right? It's just like you would expect like a 2-year-old who doesn't know what they're doing to go and try to do that. Because, I mean, to be honest, to see this chair called this Swarovski Gogh chair, okay, to be so openly accessible to people instead of being like, I mean, this is a fully covered in crystal chair, right? I will expect at least for it perhaps to be inside of a crystal like display case, right? Because it could be even a child who might just go and try to sit on it and be like, oh, this is so sparkly, let me go try to sit on it. But the weird thing about what happened is that it was actually an adult, okay? It was actually an adult who tried to assimilate that he was sitting and he tripped and fell on top of the chair, and then they tried to leave right away. Like really like they're not gonna notice. So let me read to you briefly what's more details, okay? A foolish tourist, says here in Italy, sat on a chair adorned with thousands of Swarovski crystal for a photo op, crushing the precious work of art beneath his weight. Instead of lowering himself and pretending to sit on the photo, which is, I thought that's what happened in the video. Like looking at the video, that's what I thought actually happened. Like the woman, well, it's a couple, right? So the woman goes first and tries to simulate like she's sitting there, takes a photo, and say basically probably to him, now you should try it too, right? I'm sure he's probably being blamed for it, right? And then he goes and he actually tries to sit on it. So it says here, like the woman accompanying him had done, security video shows a man deciding to go for it and sit down. The chair crumbled under his weight and he lost his balance trying to hold onto the wall with both hands so he didn't fall. Imagine. I'm laughing because, this is like, there's a reason why you're not supposed to do that. Imagine as you're trying to hold your weight, you you touch the wall and then another big painting falls off, right? Or something. That's crazy. The woman came to his rescue and the pair is scurry out of the room, right? You can see them trying to like exit quickly, but everything like you're gonna get probably called out by the staff. It's on social media. The video has gone viral. Yeah, there's no everything's being recorded. Just assume all the time that everything's being recorded at this point, right? The Palazzo Maffei in Verona, Italy, took to social media to shame the tourists, okay? Also, they are the one who released the video. I thought it was like, something else, right? But that makes sense because the video that is being released is the one from the security camera. So they're trying to shame the tourists, right? Sharing the footage of their actions, which they call superficial and disrespectful. They ignore every rule of respect for art and cultural heritage. The museum raged, noting the tourists waited for security to leave the room for the ill-fated photo op. The art piece by Italian artist Nicola Bolla was named the Van Gogh chair as it resembles a chair in one of the legendary Dutch painter's famous pieces. The museum described it as an extremely delicate piece of work entirely covered in crystals. Exactly. Okay. So here's the thing, right? And now I'm a little changing my mind a little bit. Did these tourists break the law? Yes. Like I said, when you go to museums, there's so many rules pointed out. There's always a lot of stuff too, from what I noticed. Even like a small museum, right? There's always somebody watching, like as you go through the galleries. So there's a reason why you need to follow the order. Like you would expect like a child to do that, but if you have a share, right, filled with crystal, why, like I said earlier, not put it in a open like glass case or something? Because even a child will look at it, especially when you go to museums, there's a lot of walking involved, right? So a child can be like, oh, let me sit down or let's play around. That's a cool share, right? And they just left it so accessible to people. Of course, if people gonna go look at a share that's filled with crystals, called the Van Gogh share, of course they're gonna try to simulate like they're sitting on it, right? Because that's what shares are for, right? So they're gonna do that. So I'm very surprised to see that it was actually the museum who released the video to shame these people instead of probably saying, I actually think the video got leaked or something. I never expected the museum to have done that. It's so crazy. So let me see here. What else? But the story has a happy ending. It says here, after a few days, the horrific accident, the museum was breathing a sigh of relief. It has been able to restore the art piece to its original splendor. And this is what they say in their Facebook page. For days, we didn't know if it would have been possible to restore, but we did it. Of course, it would be possible to restore, right? Just do another, just duplicate it, right? So they have it back up again, I guess. A heartfelt thanks goes to the police or our security department and the restorers whose previous work allowed the work to be recovered. It is unclear what recovery was the It is unclear what the recovery cost was and if the offending couple will be held responsible for the damages. And they're calling them idiots, okay? I hope they are reported, says somebody on the post. Oh, wow. Somebody also commented the environment of mediocrity, rudeness, and ignorance. Somebody else said, I don't think I mean, here's the thing, this is how I see it. I don't think they're like 100% responsible, right? Because they were not, I don't think they were trying to sit on it. They were just trying to simulate that they're sitting on it. He didn't think that he was gonna trip and fall, right? This is just my opinion. I don't think that they should be like responsible. I think museums should be open to, like, if something happens, like they should be able to cover the cost. And if not, then they should always have somebody there, right? Because it could have been a child who probably tried to go and run up to the chair, especially a sparkling chair, right? The kids, they always like something that sparkles. So of course, right? So it's just crazy to me that they wanna, I can understand the museum frustration. I can understand that um you should follow the rules when you go to a museum, and that doesn't mean that these people don't appreciate art, right? Because they were actually going there to look at art, right? So I think it was just they broke the rules, I guess you can say. They didn't follow the rules, and then it got, they pay the consequences right there. Now they're going viral, basically. But the good thing is, yeah, they were able to restore, right? Some things are just, it's the material thing. They restored it right away. They were able to get it back up. I suggest that they should put it in a display case, as like a glass display case, those big ones that you see at a store. That way people won't be able to go to like sit on it. So let me read you about some of the other comments of people that are saying here, because it's just crazy. Always follow what the posters rules say, right? So I'm trying to get to the comments. I do apologize about that. So let's take a look here. It's loading. Okay, let's see. So so they have a lot of people looking at this story right now. I think it's gonna be the one of I was gonna say the trending story, but there's so much other stuff going on right now in the world, right? It says here, seems to me that any exhibit that resembles a share should be cordoned off or putting behind a barrier. It was pretty silly of the museum curator to leave it so easily accessible. That's what I'm saying, right? Sometimes, here's the thing. I think sometimes we expect everybody to be the same way that we were raised, like the same way that we are, right? We expect people to, if you send an email, you expect them to send the reply like within a day or something. You think that just because you do it, everybody's gonna be the same. Sometimes you can say, "Hey, you mind getting back to me today? Because I'm waiting for an answer or something." Sometimes you have to tell people what you want in order to get that, right? So if this museum is open and you're going to display a chair, what do you think? Like, chairs are made for people to sit on them. So it was very like, if, you took a risk by leaving it open like that, because that's what people are they're gonna simulate like they're sitting on it. A kid will probably jump right on top of it and sit on it. It was just gonna meant to happen. Like it was meant to happen, right? Let me see what else says here. So she took a picture beforehand. Somebody said they knew exactly what they were doing. I think the guy just tripped and fell. I think it was a mistake. He thought he was gonna simulate like he's sitting on it, and then he just fell, right? So I don't think it was intentionally like, let me go sit on this crystal chair, even though there's so many signs we're not supposed to do that, right? Somebody say, imagine putting a flimsy, pointless device used by every human being for sitting out in the open where anybody can sit on it, and then acting surprised when somebody does exactly, right? That's exactly it. Why would you leave it open, right? I mean, they want to call them out and say they're idiots, they're disrespectful. But what do you think people are going to do, right? It's a share. And then somebody said, if the share is so precious, why didn't the museum have it encased in a glass case? Just like I was saying, right? It seems the museum was wrong to have the chair exposed. Human nature mistakes of visitors should be predicted. Exactly. You always have to be ahead of it, right? Um, but I went to see something this past weekend. Um, I went to see the DR exhibit, right? And they had display of Yves Saint Laurent sketches, and they had it was like a big display of sketches and like with little swatches. And I'm like, if they could have only make the real thing, it was actually a photo made into a poster, right? I would have loved to like at least touch some of the fabric swatches that he had there. But of course, they're not gonna do something like that, right? Because people will want to touch it, they will want to read like it more and like look at it up close, right? Or probably, if it was open like that, maybe take a pen or like draw on top of it, right? These people were very smart, and they actually made a poster out of it, right? And then they had a bag display that was used for a fashion photo shoot, and it was in a glass case, and it's like you can see it but nobody's gonna touch it, right? So yeah, things like this, you have to always be ahead of it. It's crazy to me that the museum released the video. Were they at fault? Yes. I mean, you will expect adults not to do something like that, but once again, excuse me, I think it was just he just tripped and fell on top of the chair. I don't think it was intended. He was just a photo can take 3 seconds to take. He said, "Let me just act like I'm sitting on this crystal chair," and he actually fell on it, right? So it was like, that's usually what happened. That's exactly what happened. Nothing to it, but the museum did not expect that. But imagine if it was a kid, then maybe they would understand them more, I guess. I don't know, but let me see what else people are saying. It's a very I think somebody's commenting right now. So I'm trying to think the dude that sat in the chair had to come from a blue state. That's what somebody put. Like, that is so stupid to even say something like that. It's like, really, now we're going to do this political thing now because of that? Crazy. I think these people do respect art. That's why they were at a museum. I think he just fell. So whatever that decision that he made to go and sit on that, it backfired. And so that's what it is. Let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.